MAT1033 Final Exam Review Question 30. We're supposed to solve the inequality, graph the solution set on a number line, then write the solutions using interval notation. So we need to keep in mind the forms to write the solution set in. 1 is less than or equal to 3x plus 8, which is less than or equal to 12. Keep in mind, we have two inequality symbols, which means we want to isolate the variable in the middle of this double inequality. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is subtract 8. Begins our quest to get x alone in the middle. And if I subtract 8 in the middle, I must also subtract 8 on the extremes, or in the extremes. So we have negative 7 is less than or equal to 3x, which is less than or equal to 4. Remember, we want 1x, so the next step will be to divide by 3, all three parts. And we end up with negative 7/3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 4/3. We are to show this on a number line, so we want to graph on a number line. It would help if I could draw a straight line. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Yep, need to be able to draw a straight line. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. Oh, well, that's a little bit better. Okay, now I need to identify 4/3. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just count by thirds. And then negative 7/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 7/3. And we're going to show shaded circles on both of those tick marks to identify they're included in the set. Remember, with a double inequality, we are going to shade in between because it's all the numbers in between these numbers and including those numbers, because of the equal to part of the inequality that gives us our solution set. We also are supposed to write interval notation, and pictorially here gives us an easy way to identify the interval notation. You know, take note that I used a bracket because negative 7/3 is included, and then comma, it goes over to 4/3, and it also has a bracket because it's included. The underlines here indicate that those values are included in the solution set. This is the graph form, and this is interval notation. MAT1033 Final Exam Review Question 31. We are to solve the inequality, graph the solution set on a number line, then write the solution set using interval notation. 31, it's got one of my favorite things in there, 2x minus 3 divided by 4, and that would be fractions in case you were wondering, is greater than or equal to x plus 1. Okay, we solve this with the same steps as solving equations. We just have to be careful anytime multiplying or dividing through by a negative. We must reverse the inequality symbol to end up with the correct solution set. Now, because we have a fraction, we can multiply through by the LCD and clear the fraction. LCD is 4. So I'm going to multiply this by 4 over 1, and I'm going to multiply the other side also by 4. Notice I didn't put it over 1 because those aren't fractions. And if you have bonded with your fractions this semester, you will realize that that will reduce. You can then end up with just the 2x minus 3, because 1 times that would be 2x minus 3. And then that's greater than or equal to, distribute the 4, 4x plus 4. Now we want to isolate the variable on one side, so we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. We end up with negative 2x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 4. And then we're going to add 3 to both sides. Again, we're trying to isolate this variable on one side so that we can come up with the solution set. Negative 2x is greater than or equal to 7, 4 plus 3. And then, here we go. We're dividing by a negative. Anytime you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, multiply or divide through, you must reverse that symbol. Otherwise, you get all the numbers that do not belong to the solution set. So we do have a solution. We're supposed to graph this on a number line. 0 and negative 7 over 2. Use a shaded circle because it is included, and less than or equal to would be shading to the left. Now if we hadn't reversed that symbol, we'd be shading to the right. We'd be shading all the answers that do not make the original inequality true. We also need interval notation, so the shading would go to negative infinity. We would come up to negative 7 halves. That's included, so we're going to use a bracket. This is the graph form of the solution set, and this is the interval notation.